Today I'm taking a look at the WUBEN X3. So we got our instructions, and we have got the light. So it has a strong metal clip on the back, so if we want to clip that onto our belt, or we could put this on our baseball cap because this actually rotates, so we just clip that directly on and point that straight forward, just like a headlight. Got a couple of strong magnets on the bottom. It looks like we also got a wireless charger and two LED elements that have a nice lens on there as well. It looks like that is full-on orange peel reflector on the inside. Okay, so it is locked. So we press it 4 times, that unlocks it. In my opinion, it's a very good thing in case you put this into a glove compartment, something like that in your car, and you got a bunch of things bumping against it. You don't have to worry about pulling this out when you need it and having it being dead. So if we want to relock it, just press it 4 times. If we press it once, it'll turn it on. By default, we are at 1 lumen, so it has a very nice display on it as well. Now if we press and hold, that will swap between medium and high. So we got 50 and 150. So the neat thing about it is if I want it to be at 50 lumens every time I turn it on, it is now locked to 50 lumens. So that is very nice. So that way if I have a setting that I like where it's going to be bright enough for me to use but also preserve power, it will always be there. There is also a turbo mode, so you just press this twice and that will always go to 700 lumens. So that is the max setting. Then we also have a strobe. So if we want to get somebody's attention, we have that. So the thing I think I like about this the most right now is the fact that it's such a small package. So most lights will rotate, they're a long arm like this, and then you can kind of move the head up and down, but they end up taking up a lot of room. This takes up considerably less space, and you still have all the same functionality. So you can fit this into places where you cannot fit a regular work light and still see what you're doing. Then if we press and hold, get the red LED. What that's good for is if you're trying to save your night vision at night. So if you're walking into a lot of different dark environments, you can have this on so you can see what you're doing, but when you turn it off, you're still going to be able to see. So red lights can be very handy if you're going to be in the dark a lot. So here we have our charger. Now what's interesting about this is that this by itself is a 3 amp hour battery. And you can see this cutout they got on the top. So what we can do, we can turn our light on, drop it in there. Then we have a slightly bulkier but much longer lasting flashlight. So that's interesting. So if we want to have something that we can easily carry around, just a smaller package, we got this guy. But if we know that we're going to be out for a while, we can throw it in there and that light will continue to run. That is a very cool idea. Now if we look in there, we can see there are contacts on the bottom. Those are going to line up with these contacts. It is also magnetic, so we don't have to worry about that falling out. And we can see we're at 70%, so this did come with a charge. On the bottom, we got a cover for our USB port. That is USB-C. We also got a power button. And it looks like we can actually press that without having to take the cover off. So that way we can turn the charging on or off. We also have a tether point on the bottom, and this is a metal case. This is a plastic top, but a metal case. It feels like quality construction. And I do like that blue LED shines out the side so we know that this thing is charging. Oh, look at that. This is pretty interesting. So this is not just a lanyard. This is our charging cable, so this is USB-C to USB-C, but we can also use that as our lanyard, so we got everything together, including the charging cable. The weird thing about this one is this is not a typical plastic or rubber cable. This is actually a braided flat cable. Wow, with a ruler on it. That's a neat idea. I have yet to see any cable that is as functional as this. That is very neat. If we flip this around, this lens is also a diffuser, so we could use this as kind of a neat little nightlight. And because at level 1, this can run for 30 hours, that means that we could actually run it like this and have a nightlight that runs all night long for a couple of days. This thing has actually got a lot of features, and the fact that I got my tether on now means I got a little light that I can carry around by the tether, which is also the charging cable. I got literally everything I need right here for this light. That's a very neat idea. So we can stick that to metal surfaces. It holds on no issue. Even stick that upside down. So not bad magnets actually for working in a doghouse. Oh yeah, actually works pretty well. And having a magnet on here means we can set that thing up and we just keep on working. So right now I'm about 40 feet away from this water tower. It is the middle of the night. It has 50 lumens, which actually works pretty well just with 50. There's 150. And there's 700. So this thing actually has a pretty good amount of light on it. So here we are at 1 lumen. It's kind of hard to see. I'm about 8 feet away from the wall right now. Here is 50 lumen. So 50 lumen is plenty enough to do anything like this. So I mean, if you want a good long battery, you can still see what you're doing. Here is 150. Turn that off, go to the red light. Hey, you can still see what you're doing, and we can actually increase that a little, quite a bit. So the cool thing about a red light is when we turn that off, our night vision is just as good as it was with it on. So that we could just use this for doing some quick highlighting. But then if we're walking around at night, that's not going to be a problem. And if we go to turbo, that is more than enough. So flooded 700 lumens, like that is pretty darn good. You can see pretty far down that hallway. So yeah, that is a surprisingly nice little flashlight. I'm happy with that.